Good morning, everybody. It's Jeremy Sutton, owner of Servant PT, host of the Servant PT podcast. Today, I want to talk about loving your neighbor as yourself, and we're going to go a little different direction with it. So, I think about this a lot because I'm pretty hard on myself as a person, as a Christian, as a father, as a dad, father and a dad, that's the same thing, husband, whatever capacity I'm in. And the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. And so how can you love your neighbor if you don't love yourself? Now, the reason I thought of this because I'm listening to this book and he kind of says the same thing, but it's something that I've thought about a lot, and I thought about this weekend is, if you're down on yourself a lot, how can you love other people? Now, coming from somebody who used to not love himself or like himself at all, I totally understand this concept. And I still struggle with it from time to time. Not near about as much. Not every day, not every week, but every now and then it kind of creeps back in. But you think about this today, like how difficult of a time or how hard are you on yourself for things that you do that if somebody else did it to you, wouldn't be that big of a deal, or you'd forgive them within 5 or 10 minutes. Just think about that today. How hard are you on yourself for mistakes that you've made that you would tell other people, it's going to be all right. People screw up and you'll get over it. How unforgiving of past mistakes that you've made are you when you would just tell people, hey, you live and you learn. Things like that. Just think about that. I mean, almost weekly or monthly or whatever, how many times do you just get down on yourself and say, man, that was stupid. Why did you do that? I'll tell you, one of the things that I've done so many times over and over again is I've had conversations with people. Now, I have chronic foot and mouth disease. Anybody that knows me for longer than 10 minutes knows that. And my mouth just starts moving before my brain starts thinking. And so when you talk to people and you have something and you say something stupid, and you think, wow, I really messed that up. And then I've played that conversation over and over and over in my head again for sometimes a day, sometimes a week, sometimes a month. And you think, well, I really screwed that up, or I really, made them mad, or whatever it is. And in reality, it really wasn't that big of a deal. It's just you're beating yourself up because you don't like yourself at that moment. I don't think about it from the other standpoint of the other person, whenever they've done things like that. Sometimes we just say stupid things. It's not that big of a deal, just get over it. How many times have you hurt somebody's feelings and you thought, well, I can't go see that person again for a long time. Like you avoid them like the plague because you don't want to, face them again or whatever it is. But in reality, you just made a mistake. Just say you're sorry and just move on. It'll be okay. And so that's what I want to talk about today a little bit more is when you've hurt your own feelings, when you've beat yourself up, just say you're sorry and move on, We don't have to continue to beat ourselves up. We don't have to continue to tear ourselves down. There's plenty of people that will do that for you. Plenty. So just move forward on whatever your mistakes are that you've made and try not to make those mistakes again. That's the best anybody can do. That's the best we can all do. So if you're going to love your neighbor as yourself, you better start loving yourself a whole lot more. Now, that's not the same as putting yourself first. It's not the same as being selfish and always thinking about what you need above other people, but it's just the truth. We have to love ourselves or we can't love anybody else. And I'm telling you this from personal experience, and I'm not talking about years ago, I'm talking about months ago or, maybe a year or two ago. But if you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. Even if some of the people watching your video make the most awesome donuts, you still can't love them if you don't love yourself. You could deliver me some donuts here in Vivian. It's only 40 minutes away. So that's all I have to say today. Like, love yourself, get over your issues. If you can't love yourself, then you can't love your neighbor as yourself. Because we don't want to put out a bad product of love. And there's something else. Hey, buddy. there's something else that I was thinking about that I'm listening to this book. So this book I'm listening to is called Blue Like Jazz. It's a non-Christian or a non-religious view at Christian spirituality, and it's by Don Miller. And Don Miller is a Christian, but just listening to it and hearing everything he's saying, it's really strange. Like, now a car drove by and I lost my train of thought because I saw a squirrel or something. But he says they talk about love as like a commodity. Like, love can be bankrupt. Love can be, can invest in somebody as a way of saying love or whatever. And, this one thing that he was saying that he heard from this professor and wherever is, don't think of love as a commodity. Think of love as an action, as a response, as love, but not as this person doesn't love me enough today, so I'm not going to love them enough, or my kids didn't do right today, so I'm not going to show them the affection they need, or whatever. No, it's love. It's supposed to be unconditional. We should love people. We're held accountable to what we do, but we still have to love people, and it needs to be unconditional love. So, guys, love y'all, and treat somebody well today. That somebody being you. Have a great day.